Hello and welcome to this episode of B.I.O, Black Innovators and Originators. I'm your griot, J. Evan Young. Now, the dictionary defines an originator as a person who creates or initiates something, and an innovator is a person who introduces new methods, ideas, or products. We here at B.I.O are pleased to have with us today a true innovator and originator, Mr. A.R. Shaw. Welcome, Mr. A.R. Shaw.
Man, great to be here. What's going on? This is Amir Shaw, rollingout.com, Rolling Out TV. You definitely, as you can see, we live in London 2012 Olympics. As you can see right behind me, we have the Olympic Stadium. Trap music stands as one of the most popular subgenres to emerge in rap. But trap music is more than 808 beats and lyrics. It's a subgenre inspired by location. It's like, you're in the midst of the city, you downtown Atlanta.
Facts.
And it's like, I think I came up at a time when it was just New York and LA. Like everybody was thinking about journalism and media when it came to the South.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, man, we're just as dope as New York. We're just as dope as LA. We just have to prove it.
So was that your initial passion that you wanted to go into? Was journalism and being an author like always a passion of yours, or was there anything else?
So what's interesting? My first article that I ever wrote was in 4th grade. And it's crazy that it came out like this, but being from Atlanta, I grew up in the West End, and so I didn't see any journalists growing up. Like I didn't even know that there was a path to. I didn't know how you get there. Right. So for me, it wasn't really like I wanted to be it. I saw it, you see it on TV, but you don't really know the steps to take.
Right.
But yeah, my first article was actually in 4th grade. I wrote on the 2 Live Crew. When it was that First Amendment, First Amendment trial back in the day.
I remember 2 Live Crew.
Yeah. So that was my first article in the 4th grade.
Wow.
Even then, I didn't really think about being a journalist, but it was just like, this was cool, something cool to do, and I put it down. I didn't write another article until college, and then I picked it up in college, and it was like, wow, I really like being able to tell stories and being able to have a voice and being able to analyze certain things. And so I picked it up in college. I am a journalist, an author, on-air commentator, just all around creative. Someone who likes to use the art of storytelling and to present new ideas.
Tell us a little bit about being an author.
I realized I had these ideas that couldn't fit into 500 to 1,000 words. So it was like, all right, let me take the same concepts and make them bigger. So my most recent book is Trap History, Atlanta Culture, and the Global Impact of Trap Music. Okay. And it's the first book that actually details the history of trap music and pretty much how the entire genre formed in Atlanta. So it was, it's an exploration of journalism in a way, but it just builds on bigger ideas.
So what type of journalism do you do, and what kind of journalism do you specifically prefer?
I've done pretty much every aspect of journalism. I've done science journalism. I've done business journalism, political journalism, sports, entertainment, music journalism. I've done pretty much everything that you could think of, but I prefer, things that are close to our culture. Whether it's activism, covering things that are happening within our community, within the Black community, but also covering sports, entertainment, music. Really passionate about music, particularly Black music and how Black music is impacted around from a global standpoint. So yeah, I think for me, it's really about telling the stories for our people. Even though I can tell a story anywhere, I really appreciate being able to tell the stories from our community. Get people to be aware of what's happening. I think that's the biggest thing, is that a lot of times sometimes you just don't have time to really dissect everything that's happened politically, because so much happens. And for us, it's really just to kind of take what's happening from a political standpoint and break it down and decipher it so everybody can know, okay, this is what we're dealing with. These are your steps, and these are what things that we can do to kind of change things if you don't like what's happening. A lot of things are happening from a national standpoint, but I tell people to focus on local politics as well, because local politics is very important. Like who's the people who are your senators, who are your councilmen people, who are your aldermen. Like you have to really focus on the people who can impact your day-to-day life right now. And then you can scale up. But really it's just about information and providing that information to the community the good and bad, because this is a turbulent time right now politically.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, it's not over. I don't want people to think that this is over now. We got to continue to fight, and continue to understand the truth of the matter. And so that's our job as journalists, to kind of like give people the truth.
I completely understand that, and it's definitely needed, especially for the people in the community now.
For sure.
And it's also important to have somebody that looks like us in the community that is a journalist, that's bringing us the information, so that we can also get it accepted and digested in a way that other people can't. So that's very important. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for doing that, man.
Yeah.
Tell us about one of your sports assignments that you're most proud of.
Years ago, I did a piece on the black coaches in the NFL. This is probably, 2010 maybe, or 2011, something around that time. That was the issue where there wasn't that many black coaches in the NFL, and it was just like, I went to Pittsburgh to interview Mike Tomlin. I went to Indianapolis to interview Tony Dungy. Went to Cincinnati to interview Coach Lewis from the Cincinnati Bengals.
Right.
And then I think it was Romeo Crennel. I think that was the other coach. But see, it was this big thing about, I know you heard of the Rooney Rule. Rooney Rule, where they were trying to get more black coaches involved in, both just having opportunities. Because owners they weren't giving black coaches opportunities to sit down with, somebody like a Mike Tomlin and a Tony Dungy, and to get their thoughts on why there is a lack of black coaches and what can be done to change that. Was something that I definitely was proud of. It shows that a different angle of sports, where you can have all these black athletes doing these great things on the field, but they still don't, for whatever reason, don't want black men in positions of power, and although they want athletes to win them the game.
Right. Tell us about an entertainment assignment that you are most proud of.
There's several that kind of stand out. Of course, just being a hometown guy, covering the Outkast reunion. I think that was kind of that was a big thing, covering that reunion in 2014. That was a major moment. Being able to cover Kendrick at the Super Bowl, like kind of see how he did a subversive performance in front of Trump. Like it went over a lot of people's head. They didn't know what was happening, but it was like he kind of presented it in a way where you had to watch it more than once. And it almost reminded me of a Negro spiritual, how Negro spirituals were, where it was like they had a lot of coded language within those words and within those lyrics, and it was like, they did, a lot of the white people didn't know what was being said, but the coded language, a lot of black people were able to kind of get, get messages through those lyrics, and I kind of felt like that was like the Super Bowl performance. It was like this big coded type of performance, piece of art, and so I definitely think that was like one of the big moments in entertainment that I could kind of think of.
So tell us about like one of your most memorable assignments that you've ever gotten.
Man, most memorable? It's been a lot, man. Probably just covering the Obamas during those years, because growing up in the West End, I never thought that I would actually. It's two things. I never thought that I would go to the White House, because I never had an interest in going to the White House. And then I never thought that I would see a black president and a black family in the White House. That's something that growing up, I just never could imagine that would happen. And to be able to go and walk into the White House with a black president and a black family and cover some of their events, to me, that was mind blowing in terms of, it was almost like going to the moon. It's like, it exists, but it's like you feel like you're never gonna go there. Those Obama years was kind of really special, because it was something that we never expected. And to be a part of that, and to be a part of history was definitely something that kind of stands out. During the Black Lives Matters, uprisings, when, Ferguson, the Mike Brown situation, Trayvon Martin situation, even the George Floyd situation, those were very impactful stories, because it just showed you how far we still have to go in America. And it shows you like people were willing to like stand up and like really voice their opinions and really kind of push back against systemic issues. And so I think being able to cover those events, those situations, were kind of like something that I'm proud to be able to like, given a true voice and not filtered. Because when you're in certain places, they want you to filter your voice and your expression. But being able to kind of like be on the front lines with a lot of those people who were actually, like I say, fighting back, that was something that was that I'm very proud to be a part of.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing that you've been a part of so many things that were pivotal in history, especially in American history. Is there anything else that you would like to talk about that I might have missed, or is there anything pressing that you would like to tell anybody other than what you've already told us who would like to pursue a career in journalism?
Yeah, so the thing about journalism is that it's changing day by day. I think the way people consume media is changing. I think, like I said earlier, the way people consume media when I was in college is totally different from the way media is consumed now. Just a case in evidence right here. I mean, this is a piece of journalism right here that you're doing, but it's going to be consumed differently than probably what it was consumed, 15 to 20 years ago. So it's just like, being that you can build your own platforms and you can tell your own stories, I think that's something that you should always have. Even if you're working for another publication or another network, TV or things of that nature, always have something that you can fall back on that's yours. I think that's definitely important. I think that's just like the key. I think to really always have something else that you're doing that's adjacent to where you want to be.
I also know that you like to help young journalists get published. So tell us a little bit about that, and how do you go about getting them published?
It's bigger than it's deeper than publishing. It's really just about mentoring. I guess the next generation of storytellers and journalists. The biggest thing is that an opportunity. I think that's the thing is that we're only as good as our opportunities that we're given, and I understand that. And to me, if someone who's willing to put in the work, determined, I definitely want to give them a shot. And I think even a lot of times people starting out, you still trying to figure your voice out, things of that nature. And I understand that we're all trying to figure things out, at all times. And so for me, it's just like, I try to reach back and try to give opportunities to people that really want to work, that really want to put in that effort, because I know it's just you need those moments to kind of help you to that next level. You know what I'm saying? I've had journalists that's worked for me that they ended up at ABC. I have a journalist who lives in Ohio. She's an anchor in Ohio. Wow. One of my journalists who interned under me, he writes for the Pelicans, New Orleans Pelicans down in New Orleans. Wow. I had people that won Emmys. I had a journalist that won an Emmy for Fox Sports. I think it was like a Super Bowl. They won like an Emmy. So for me, it's just really, giving people that first opportunity, because I was given the first opportunity. And I think the more opportunities you get, that just helps you with your confidence, and it helps you it helps you to grow. And so for me, that's like a big thing, is to like just give people that chance, just do what I can to help, and to just to let them see what the possibilities are, and then they cultivate their voice, and then they go to that next thing, and then they end up prospering in other places. But that's something that I've done for years, in terms of just like helping individuals who are just starting out to kind of like get those first chances and those first opportunities. And it's interesting because Anthony Mackie, he was on the Pivot podcast like I think last week, and he was like, we're lying to our kids in terms of if you work hard and you do things, you're gonna end up being successful. And Anthony Mackie was like, he went against that. He said it's not really about being great, it's about the opportunities that you're given. I mean, there's a lot of average people who are in great positions because somebody who was in a position of power gave them an opportunity. We see it all the time. We see a lot of people who don't really have the work ethic, don't even have the skills or the knowledge in powerful positions. I know everybody in here can name it off the top. But they got opportunities. And so that's the thing. It's just like we have to give each other opportunities, and I think that's how we remain successful.
Right.
And so that's to me that's major. It's just like, giving people opportunities to succeed, and just a chance to cultivate their voices.
So tell us what you think about this program here and why you specifically chose to do this interview with us.
Yeah, I mean, I think anybody that's, of course, me and Alonzo in Morehouse at the entertainment journalism class, and his willingness to just not be afraid to tell me what he's working on. I think that's a lot of times people don't want to like tell other people what they're doing. You got to tell people what you're doing,
Right.
and so I think just having that, just being determined to like really let people know about his project. That inspired me, because it's just like anytime you're able to build something just from scratch, from your own mind, and put it together and then cultivate it. I think that's I mean, you're ahead of the game. You're ahead of 99% of the people, because a lot of people have ideas that's just in their heads, but you're actually doing the work to put it out and to actually see it come to fruition and to build on it. I think that's the biggest thing, is to continue to build and build and build, and then one day it just breaks through.
Right.
So I'm always down for people who are trying to do things on their own and really having their own voice. I think that's major, that you're actually taking the time to have your own voice and build a platform. And also, I got an opportunity to see the Michael Schultz episode, and Michael Schultz is definitely a key figure in our community, and in the fact that you're able to get Michael Schultz on his platform is major. Someone who has so much history and who's done so much from the film standpoint. It just shows that that you're doing the right thing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is a moment. So I think you just have to continue to build on the moment, and I look forward to seeing what's next.
So thank you so much, everybody. Thank you for watching. This is Mr. A.R. Shaw, and he is a true Black innovator and originator. My name is J. Evan Young. I'm your griot, and this is B.I.O.
We here at Black Innovators and Originators want to thank you for joining us. It is our goal here at B.I.O. to inform and enrich our community, that our contributions to the history of this country and the world be exposed and never forgotten. Kua Macho Familia. Kua Macho.